Welcome to episode 12 of the How Is He podcast. Joined as always by my co-host Paul Popadowling.
Hello friends.
Well, Pop, this week we have to go over 35s from the last few rounds of games. You missed a few rounds of games because we done a couple of pre-recorded ones.
I was doing the post.
You were doing the post,
You were
yeah.
doing the post in California.
We want to see how the leagues are shaping up there as well. We also have to draw for this week's giveaway at the end.
Yeah, looking forward to that, yeah.
We'll record the video and stick it up. Thanks very much for all the entries. We had a fantastic response. We also have a guest with us this week. We're delighted to have a man who I would consider a friend. He started out as a committee member of the Carlow Juvenile League in 2010. The year after, he was elected as chairman for the same league, obviously, and he was in that position for 10 years. He was also in the SFEI Council for that time as well, where he served with them. He was instrumental in expanding the league in many ways, including girls soccer, and he was being at the forefront of the progression of the academies. He then went on and set up Carlow Kilkenny League of Ireland Club, where he was appointed chairman and currently sits in that role today, with being a member of the FAI General Assembly, representing CK United as they are now known. At the back of it all, he's a massive Glasgow Rangers fan. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Peter Harvey.
Well, that was a secret. I never knew that.
Good evening to you.
How's things?
I'm grand. The last bit would be a bit untrue, of course.
Papa, before we do that, you happy to be back?
Sorry?
Happy to be back?
Yeah, man, missed it.
Did you?
I know it was pre-recorded episodes, but
You look fantastic.
well, I am. Yeah,
Are
it's
you?
on the golf course.
High blood pressure one or the
No,
other?
it's not blood pressure. No. Stress-free.
Yeah, cool.
Looking forward to doing it again. 2 weeks was
Yeah, I missed it myself now.
Somehow I would have sworn off there for 3 weeks, you know.
I missed it myself as I was driving down the highway with fucking, cigar in my mouth
Of course
and
you were,
wind in my hair.
Who are you, Kojak?
We'll get into 35s, Pop. I haven't had a look at it, to be honest with you. How are you going?
Yeah, sitting top of the Premier with Critty Yard. Top of it, yeah. We had 3 games since you went on your holidays. We beat Evergreen on there 3-0. Really comfortable. Yeah, really comfortable, yeah. Really, the boys played really well. Then we had Phoenix in the cup, and Phoenix beat us on penalties. They scored after a few minutes. Free kick, and then it was a deflected free kick, landed at Dottie Hurley, and he buried it, in fairness to him. And
better chap.
Ray Walker scored an equaliser, but sure, when it goes to penalties, it goes anyway. And
It's
Chops is a big unit in the goal, isn't he? But
Did he save many?
he saved 2. Alan Shaw told me to say this. He was 3 yards off the line for Alan Shaw's penalty.
Stop,
I know,
Alan.
but he looked. Look, it is what it is. It's a bit of crack between the two boys. They work together and all that, you know. So it's they bet us in that, and then so we had to bounce back last week. Played Highview, beat them 6-2 down there.
Jesus, good.
Yeah, really good. So I just want to say on that podcast, there's a chap who played for Highview last week. I don't know. I never met him in my life, but his young lad was on the sideline.
Right.
He was up in the trees getting the balls and all that. No, it didn't happen at the match, but the young lad was about 10 or 11, and he's passed away since. Something happened to him Saturday night.
Oh, jeez,
You'll see a
Lord
photo
mercy
of Highview if you wanted it on Facebook and all that. And it's really, really sad, you know. I just go from one extreme, looking at his dad playing soccer, to now his dad is burying his son. So just a little shout out to the Highview Athletic and that.
Yeah, poor devil. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's look, I had the league in front of me here, Papa.
Yeah.
Highview sit at the bottom of it, actually. Carnew, Pats.
Highview's not like Dean Brothers is playing. Scored 2 belters.
Some player.
Oh man, I told the boys before a ball was kicked, I said, look, now he played on the right inside, cutting in his left foot, scored a free kick, and it was like Georgie Hadjipoch.
Yeah.
It was just one step, 35 yards. Like, the ball was swaying all over the place. Yeah. Honest to God, it was some strike. He's top class, like, but they're not as bad as the results make out to be, I'll tell you. They have a couple of decent players, so they do.
It's
a good goalkeeper.
Well, I think you called it a few weeks ago, Pop. Anyone can be anyone that league.
They can, yeah. Like, we were missing. Like, you'll see now as the season goes on, you're going into and you're missing 4 or 5 players every week. But it's not the same 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
Then 4 come back and 4 more. But that's why we said, you remember you said, Podge, when you were doing the patch 35s, you need 25 lads in the squad.
Easily
20, especially 35s, because there's a 3-week break coming up, I think, at the start of August, which is allow people to go on their holidays with their family and all.
That's needed as well, though, for recovering and all as well, isn't it?
Especially, yeah. Good though.
I'm just going back here to The latest rounds of this. I'll go from the 1st of June. So Carlow Rovers bet Highview 6-0.
Yeah.
Highview bet Pats 1-0. That's what I mean. I forget I bet 6-0.
Last minute penalty, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of it there, right? If we're going to get bet 6, then go and beat Pats 1-0. That's not a bad Pats side.
No, it's not.
That is a good
there's
bad
a lot
side.
of ballers in it, yeah.
Yeah. Hanover, you bet Evergreen 3-0. That's a massive result. Craig, you bet Carlow Rovers 4-2. Pats and Carnew drew 0-0. Carlow Rovers and Evergreen 1-1. We never thought that either, you know.
No. And I believe, I wasn't up, but my brother was up at it, and he said, Carlow Rovers, were the better team.
Gannon and playing, and
I don't know who was playing, I don't know, but I wasn't at it myself. That's the but I believe Carlow Rovers are the better team. We play Carlow Rovers, they're busy, they're strong through the middle, you know.
They've been strong 35s the last couple of years, though, haven't they?
Danny O'Boyle is playing with Alan Mack centre half, Black Paddy in the middle of the field. Fagan upstairs is a nightmare, run all day.
To be good.
You know, they're good players,
Yeah.
So
we'll look at the fixtures at the end, all right?
Yeah.
Peter, how's things?
I'm very good.
Happy to be here.
Well, apart from the last comment, yeah. But I just want to start. Have you ever won the 35s league, Papa?
No.
I have.
With no
Have you?
I've won the over 35s league.
I'd say you won it. I wouldn't say you played in it.
I didn't play a lot in it. You're probably right, but I did win it. I was in the squad when New York won it, the first senior club in New York to win a senior title in Carlow.
Was it?
And I played it with Brian Walker and Kieran Cooney and Mike Cooney.
Right.
It was right. They never won the senior league.
What year was that?
1938 or something. No, it was in the 2000s, I think, something.
No, going to Dublin 2000 and...
So I think it's 10 years this year since they won the Leinster, 35 Leinster over in Castledermot. Do you remember that game?
So it must
have been, that was, what's that?
It was early 2000s.
So it must be before.
I came here in 99 and it was first 1 or 2 years since after that, so it's probably very early 2000s.
Right, okay.
But they'd never won a senior title.
I'll have to fact check that now, Pete, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm nearly sure they won a double under Sean Kennedy before that.
Sean Kennedy was manager of the 35s that year.
Or he would have been manager of the Premiers year before. I'd say they won the Premier. Anyway,
I know.
It won't be the first time you're told you're wrong in this conversation. We'll move on. So we have a couple of questions for you, Peter. And as I said to you before we came down, we'll elaborate on them as they go. Obviously, you've had a fair journey when you came in as chairman. Come on the committee with no real ties. Jumped in as chairman of the Juvenile League. So when you took that role, what's the vision for the Carlow Juveniles when you start out? What's where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? And what's the end game?
Well, to start with, when I went on the committee because there'd been a call put out by the league that the league was going to fold at the time because they didn't have any committee members. John Collins would have been the same. He was approached as well to go in by obviously Chris or whoever in Vale approached him to go in, and we went in just as committee members, and then things fell apart very quickly due to issues with the Kennedy Cup squad and coaches and some people on the committee. The committee members resigned, which left myself and John went in as secretary just before I went in as chairman. So the vision was that we were keeping the league going. Yeah, which.
I didn't realise there was a threat of decline there.
There was a big thing in the Nationalist story in the Nationalist about how they were going.
The Juvenile League.
The Juvenile League was going to fold unless.
What was the reason for that?
No members to join it. People didn't want to join it. Yeah.
Loads of people are playing it, but no one to run it. Sort of.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Shows you how important the job is.
That would have been Matty O'Reilly's time.
It was Matty O'Reilly and Geraldine Byrne. So
was Alan Ruddock on it then?
Yes, he was. But
then he left since. Yeah. But John took his role, did he?
Yeah, he did. He was a lovely man, actually.
Alan was a gentleman, very good at his job as well at that time. Mick Mailing on it?
Mick came on afterwards.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, as well, passed away. A good man he was, actually.
Yeah, a very good man, yeah.
Very knowledgeable, good man, you know.
And did you get Dacker on then at that time as well?
What happened was, when I became chairman, Matty resigned for whatever reason.
Rightly so.
And myself and John were discussing where do we go, because none of us had any experience at Kennedy Cups or academy football or anything.
Yeah.
And as I only knew people within the Hanover family because my young lad was playing for Hanover at the time, I knew Dacker was a very good coach at the time. I'm not so sure he is now, is he? But I went to him and said that this is a job here. We need to get these academies up and running again because it's falling apart and they're going to the Kennedy Cup. So we had to make sure. And the vision was that the 2 years previously, I think they come 31st and 32nd.
That's right.
So we said that we need to become a top 8 team in the country because the players are in the county to go there. And with the journey we had, we proved it because we came first seeds and came fourth one year when yourself, Podge, were the manager.
That's right.
But we also had other good teams before that. Like that 99 squad was very good. The 2 years we're involved in. So and there's players, but there's other players come through and other squads that have been very good that maybe haven't stepped up to the mark. But if you look at the history of the academies now, since I took over in whatever year it was, 15 years ago, they've done very well in the Kennedy Cup, but they've won a couple of All-Irelands under 15s.
That's right, yeah.
And it's a great story behind it. And obviously, the girls coming along and getting involved in the Gaynor Cup. They were unlucky one year when I was still involved. They got beat in the semi-final, and Kilkenny went on and won it that year. So, and now they've obviously proved how good they were by winning the Gaynor last year.
Yeah.
So, the standard of the league has come on a hell of a lot since when we were in it.
Is that the biggest thing, the biggest change you've seen in the league, the standard?
Standard is phenomenal
in that time.
Yes, because there's proper coaching, and when you get the proper coaching by the players coming through, then the sky's the limit because they can advance to anything.
Are you as in, so even if you eliminate the academies from it, right, do you think the standards have rose in clubs?
Yeah. There's obviously, the standards of clubs are all different levels as they always have been. You'll always get your weaker clubs, and that's because obviously if a young lad comes through that's very good in one club, but a lot of the players are not that standard, then the bigger clubs will come in and take them, as we see that all the time. But that only increases the standard of those players. So, but I think at the top end of the league, definitely the standards are higher.
And was the vision then purely to get into that top bracket?
Oh, obviously the first vision was to make sure that everybody got football, because that's why I got involved, because obviously the league was going to fold, there was no football for kids. So our first priority was always make sure that the leagues were the first priority. And then after that,
imagine there was no juvenile soccer. Imagine that.
Nuts.
Thinking about it.
Like, I know, like I mentioned Matt.
That's all, yeah.
I mentioned Matty earlier, like the work he put in. Like, I remember when
Brian's father?
Yeah. I remember when I got started, he was a great help to me with Gary Cawley that time, and like he'd go everywhere. He'd go into every game, every academy game, every academy trip. Like, the work he put in was unbelievable. But he genuinely was on his own. Like, he got a little bit of help up and down, but the man was on his own going to things. Yeah. And ran from A to Z, he ran the whole show, like. Jesus. From gear to, like.
That's so long, in fairness.
Oh, Trojan. And a gentleman behind it as well, by the way, I might add. Like, for me, looking in from the outside that time, because I kind of got involved then around that time with the league. Remember, you approached me on night to Talbot, blah, 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 to do this and do that. But the progression then from, say, Matty O'Reilly's time running the academy single-handed to where they were when I left. Like, personally, I don't think you can measure, first of all, the work that went in by yourselves, and secondly, the progress. Like, it was colossal.
Yeah.
It really was. And I don't think it's recognised enough.
It's not spoken about enough anyway, that's for sure.
I think good football men, like yourself, Papa, like Dakar Nolan, I think they'll understand, you know, because they're football men. There are many more like you as well. But let's talk about progression and development in that 10 years, and again, just to separate from the academies, like, did you see any big improvements in clubs? Did you see different approaches in clubs? Did you encourage clubs to progress?
Well, clubs were always encouraged to progress with whatever they were doing. I mean, obviously we were pushing clubs to get girls football in the later years, not straight away, because we were trying to make sure the leagues were working. But yeah, there was a lot of pushing to get clubs to do new things. And to be honest, Gary Cody was a big help. Yeah. Even a lot of people don't think that Gary does too much in Carlow, but basically whenever I asked him to do anything, he'd done it. But we never asked him to come and get involved in the league. We never asked him to get involved in the academies. Actually, it's the opposite. We didn't want him involved in the league or the academies because that was our job. So he was there as our support mechanism as far as I was concerned. So, and I don't think it's right. I mean, we appointed Dak as academy director. After that, we appointed Podge there as assistant academy director. Why would I go to the FAI and ask them or ask Gary to step in over the two of them? Yeah. They had a job to do, so that's what we done. We let them get on with it. Yeah. So Gary got a lot of criticism at the time, but unwarranted as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, those programs that we put in place encouraged people to get teams. When we took over, everything was odds and evens. The first thing we done was changed it to everybody plays every week.
Yeah.
So because
Yeah.
but they were saying, there's not enough players, but there's loads of players. There's kids sitting on the sideline week in, week out, because if you're playing odds and evens, the good odds players come down or go up and play for the evens, whichever way.
Yeah.
And the weaker players don't get the same game time and don't get coaching. How are they going to get better? And we've all seen these so-called better players, 5'10" at 12 and 13, who don't progress through to 14s, 15s, 16s. It's the more technical little lads that come through. So we increased the size of the leagues, and we got more divisions, as you probably know. So when we finished, there was loads of divisions and loads of different leagues to help everybody.
I think one of the greatest things, I don't know if you remember this, Papa, the best things you done was bring in the Southeast, like the Champions League format.
The Cardias Cup.
What was it called?
Cardias Cup.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
It was brilliant. And you had like, if you break it down in professional terms, you had the Champions League, you had the UEFA Cup, and you had the Conference League.
Yeah.
Like everyone had an opportunity to go play in Europe.
Where are you going this morning? I'm in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah. No, we won it. We won it, and it was brilliant.
That was organised at an SFAI council meeting the night before an SFAI council meeting, over a few pints with the council
All good work was
members
done there.
for North Tipperary, Kildare, Kilkenny were in it for the first couple of years. Midlands were in it, and it became the Midlands Cup after that for a while.
Yeah.
So, but that was done over a few beers the night before an SFAI meeting. As most of these things that we done, all the academy matches were done the same way.
It worked a treat, didn't it? It was a great competition.
Yeah.
So, in that time, what changes did you personally make that you thought made an impact on the whole thing?
I think everything that we done made an impact. I mean, it wasn't me personally done anything. We were a committee.
Yeah.
We sat down and made decisions as a group. John Collins was instrumental in that. Daka was instrumental. Gene Casey was instrumental in it. There was people that came in and went out, like Mick Malin, as we said earlier. He came in for a short while. Ollie Kyles from St Anne's came in. And Pat being from Milltown at the time, I don't think they're going anymore, are they?
I don't think so. I think they're gone, yeah.
No, they're not going, no. They're gone.
They're gone, yeah.
I think they're gone, yeah.
Yeah. So all these people came in and then went out, but the mainstays of the committee. But we all had committee meetings, made decisions as a group, and then we enacted on them. So there's nothing really that I can turn around and say that I done personally. I took a lot of the blame at times for things that went wrong. But we stood up, as a committee, we made decisions and got them right. So it's not everything wasn't down to me.
Do you think that you had much weight when it came to the SFEI council meetings?
Yeah, I think everyone has a lot of weight. I made sure that what I said had a lot of weight because as you probably know, I'm quite verbal in what I believe something.
I would have said that. Would you?
Yeah, I'm quiet. Yeah,
no comment.
I made myself known to anything that I believed in, but I fought for Carlo. I mean, end of the day, that's what I was there for. Yeah,
but it would be easy to get lost in the shuffle because you're only Carlo. Like,
no, because the way the SFAI council worked was there was a lot of groups that got together to try and get things done.
Yeah, so
they were all very requiring your support when they were trying to get things done. So, so we got things pushed through.
You needed votes and things
so,
like that.
Yeah. And remember the year the DDSL were put out of the SFAI because they wouldn't play games? That was me that put that forward for them to get put out of that.
Yeah.
And then John Delaney...
Why wouldn't they play games?
Because they were in dispute with the SFAI over stuff, just like they are now.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't play their games. And it was proposed at a meeting in Wexford that they should be kicked out because we were waiting to go to the last 32.
Yeah.
And the floor voted that they were kicked out, so they were kicked out.
They thought they were bigger in the system, I'd say. Yeah.
And John Delaney stepped in and told them to play the games, and we weren't allowed to kick them out. So
no way.
Different FAI now because they don't tell people what to do like that. So.
Yeah, that's nuts. So that progresses then, and an opportunity comes up with Carlo Kilkenny, as it was known at that time. What's the start? How did that all start?
I wouldn't say the opportunity came up for Carlo Kilkenny. There was an expression of interest put out by the FAI for the National League underage, under 15 level, and myself and John discussed it in the Talbot Hotel one day, and we said we'd go for it, put it in the expression of interest, but we said we knew we weren't strong enough in Carlo, so we had agreed that we were going to approach Kilkenny. But actually it wasn't just John, it was Gary Cody as well was in that meeting. and because Gary brought it to us, and we agreed we'd go to Kilkenny and see if they'd do something jointly. And a meeting was arranged by the two leagues, and we agreed that this was something we needed because, as we all know, our players were going away to Dublin or where else to play games, to play for clubs in Dublin. The first year I came in, a heap of lads went to St Joseph's in Dublin after they come second in the bowl. Conor O'Dunn, Jim McGrath and all that lot. Yeah. So we said we need something for them to go to, because if the truth be known, most leagues don't support football after 14s. They put on the league games, but there's not the same amount of pressure for the academies to do well. So you lose your best players to the Dublin clubs. So we started up Carlow Kilkenny. We put the expression of interest in. We were called to meet in Dublin, put ourselves forward, and were accepted. So then we had our football club running.
And that was who from Kilkenny was instrumental in that side?
Tom Mullins, Fran Egan, John Joe, who was the chairman, was the treasurer down there, and John, I can't think of his surname, sorry. But the four of the committee members were in with us.
Yeah.
And then myself and Dacker and Jean and John with the four from Carlow that joined the committee at the time.
And what did you see it as the next step then for lads going to Kennedy Cup?
Yep. It was basically to stop them going to Dublin.
So on that point, what's changed now then? Why is it not still seen as that?
Because the Kennedy Cup, unfortunately, has lost, because under 14 league come in, all the best players in the country are now playing National League. So the Kennedy Cup, in my opinion, has lost its appetite, or the jazz it used to have with all the scouts down there and all that stuff. And to me, it's not the same level of competition. Now, there's ways it might need to be revamped, and there's a couple of ways to do that.
Everyone should be given the opportunity to play.
I totally agree.
Enough for a Kennedy Cup.
Yeah.
I think it's a year too soon. I think it should be under 15, not 14. Or definitely play the Kennedy Cup. That's the best window to be advertising if you want to go play the next level. Do you know what I mean? And that's the pinnacle. It's the best run tournament I think it was ever at.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. The refereeing is good. The way the people do the voluntary jobs and all that's fantastic. But to see that Carlow team this year down there, that was missing, the players were missing, would have made them stronger.
Well, to be honest, we don't have many Carlow players in with us.
They were down in Waterford or in CK.
They're gone League of Ireland.
They're gone League of Ireland, and I think it's 6 or 8 months too soon. They should have been playing the Kennedy Cup. is
there conversations between parties? Is there conversations? Obviously, the Kennedy Cup is an SFI round tournament.
Yeah.
So is there conversations there, to make any changes? Because, for me to take the prestige over the Kennedy Cup is ridiculous.
Absolutely,
as you've just said, and you've been down there as many times as I have.
Oh yeah. I love the Kennedy. I love the Kennedy Cup.
The greatest football showcase of all time. Do you know what I mean? Is there conversations to change things, or?
There's lots of conversations going on. I don't know what level they're at the moment, because there's a lot of animosity between the SFAI and the League of Ireland clubs. Obviously because of the under 14 league and ourselves, and taking obviously the better players, which is obviously that's our remit to take the better players and hopefully get them better. But the SFAI weren't up for change, and even when I was involved with the SFAI, they weren't up for changing anything. Yeah. Which obviously was always going to come back and bite them. Because if the best players are going to the League of Ireland, all the scouts go to League of Ireland games. We have them every week coming to games under 14, at every level actually, because you see players progressing. When you have a good players that are coming through, like Peter Grogan when he was coming through, and Josh Brady, we were getting requests every week for the videos of the games from the FAI, because we're keeping an eye on them for possible international duties. But that never happened when we were doing academies in the Kennedy Cup. We didn't get that.
Probably not to that level, but it did. You did have the South League. There was pathways.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say, and this is my opinion, obviously, that the progression pathway of a player didn't digress too much from what it was to now. So what I mean is, you as a League of Ireland club, you're still promoting the same pathway.
Yeah.
Because even when you used to come over academies, you mentioned the Conal Dunns and all that. They went to Dublin. I seen Conal Dunn score 2 goals against Ajax for his country. So players did, we did have internationals before Andre's League of Ireland, right?
100%.
I remember being up at a regional session, and can't think of it. He was the 15s Ireland manager. What was his name?
Jason Donoghue?
No, not Jason. No, it was before Jason. I can't think of his name. Was it Morling? Something Morling?
Oh yeah, Morling lad who went to Brighton. Can't think of his name.
Can't think of his first name. He came up to me You're involved with Carly. I said, yeah. How are you? Spoke to him. Gentleman, where's Brian Byrne? Do you know Brian Byrne who scored 2 goals for Laois? I said, he's playing Gaelic.
John Morling.
John Morling.
Yeah.
He says, you're joking me. I had him pencil in for the next Ireland squad. I swear to God. So, in relation to Pat Wes.
Yeah, with Pats, did he?
He was with Pats, yeah. He played that Kennedy Cup that year. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Excellent.
Fantastic. Excellent player. Left back is excellent. But I've kind of digressed a bit. But in relation to Pat Wes, like, is there a much of a difference from the old way to now? Because I'm out of the loop. I don't know.
I think there is probably a big difference now. Because when we were involved in the academies, you never got, the players didn't get the recognition because they came from Carlow. When did you ever see scouts coming down to watch Carlow playing games? Unless we played that Ireland match when we had that great session. Like, our day-to-day academies, there was never anybody there. But now that they're all getting opportunities, the FAI policy then was obviously Dublin-based.
Yeah.
Everything was...
Or academy games.
Yeah. Big academy games. The DDSL would be involved in them, or Cork or whatever. But now they come all over the country because the FAI policy is that they want National League teams covering every part of the country to give the players an opportunity without having to drive up to Dublin. I mean, there's players coming from Kerry to Dublin in the past to play games.
Some trip, isn't it?
It's unreal. It's 4 hours, I mean.
Yeah.
And they're coming in a couple of times a week or whatever to train.
Yeah.
That's mad.
But that's, yeah, it is mad. But that, on our scale, it's not mad. Like, if a kid is chasing a dream, or if a parent is playing his life through his kid's football career, you know, it's not mad for them. It's just normal.
There's a lot of parents' podges that were really good players in their day, but there was no coaching.
Yeah.
And their kids are might be just as good as them, or maybe not as good, but the coaching is miles better, and they'll end up a better player.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
Because they're coached properly.
Yeah.
Like, there's good soccer players years ago that were taken on the back foot. What? Fall over who?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. But good players naturally done it without being coached.
Yeah.
Where now, every young lad, good, bad or indifferent, they're getting better at every single thing. Who's the simple? People say it's the smallest thing. Instruction, when you're giving a passes, I always say there's 2 things. Man on or time.
Yeah.
But them good players years ago, like you said, never got that coaching. But they're living their playing days now through their kids, and they have a better opportunity to make it than their dads did, maybe. Do you know what I mean?
If you were to do the graph, this is my ideology, my mind, right? My opinion.
This is crazy. This could go anywhere.
Rubik's Cube head. If you were to do a graph, I think the quality in this county's always been there.
Yeah.
But you just said the coaching was at a level where it probably shouldn't have been. But now I think they're nearly on par.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
You know, I think, and I think that was a big thing for academies as well. And like, when you go back, and I'll go back to when you started, and I got involved, and you got involved, Papa, in academies. Like, the coaches were there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, you had the Des Clarks, you had the Paul Dolans, you had the Paul Stiles, you had the Dakar Nons, you had the Gavin Dolans, you had Timmy Currys. Like, you had coaches.
Yeah.
You had lads who could go in and run sessions and develop players.
And I'll tell you another thing, Podge, why club soccer has got better.
Unbelievably better.
Right? Because the coaches are going in with the academies, and there could be 4 coaches, but they're 4 different clubs. And they're taking some of their drills of it that they've never seen before. There could be you learning something off me, and me learning something off you.
Yeah.
And that's going back to your club. And that makes every club match, every club training session better.
Yeah.
And it's an easy saying. If you train well, you'll play well.
And there's also a thing where I remember having parents who were involved in their clubs come to watch sessions so they could take it back to their.
Yeah.
So kind of had that knock-on effect, right?
Well, that was something they were told. All the clubs were told at every meeting.
They're invited in, sort of,
training sessions for the academy or open sessions. If anybody wants to come and watch them, then we're very happy for them to take it away. Yeah. So but what you're also finding when that was happening was, you as academy coaches who were training your teams were, say, playing it for Pats against Hanover or Pats against New York. You'd be seeing players, or when you went out to St. Joseph's, you've seen Keelan Gaffney. You're seeing players thinking, yeah, he could do a job for us. Yeah. And then you were bringing those lads in. Yeah. So Keelan wasn't in at the Kennedy Cup year.
That's right.
And he played excellent. He played the year above his age in goal, and he was excellent. Yeah. And Keelan went on to play for Shelburne. He's given an opportunity to play MLS only a few months ago. He was in
the draft.
He was wherever he is. He's away working.
Kevin Costner picked him.
His dad told me that his dad got a phone call from someone, an Irish guy who was in an MLS team looking for Keelan because the keeper got injured. And they were looking for a goalkeeper, but Keelan was away, but he just wasn't fit. He hadn't trained or anything.
What level MLS?
Not the top level. I don't know which club it was, but he told me it was the top level.
You're joking me.
No, Keelan was disgusted with himself for not being fit enough to go.
No, that is a Netflix documentary, isn't it? I've said that a few times.
I mean, that's all. But see,
Kennedy Cup to MLS.
But that's all it takes for a player to get to the top level. Just take something like that, a little thing. Someone I'd remembered him playing for Shelburne.
Yeah.
He's a good keeper. Let's get him over and have a look at him.
You'd be surprised what people remember, you know that?
Yeah, it's crazy. So I do forget half the things. Like, you know, when you try to prepare this and you have a certain guest on, like we have Peter on here today, and the amount of times the hours we would have spent together at football pitches and meetings, things like that, I forget half it. Like the conversation.
The longest meeting we ever in Podge was in Talkers, remember that?
Trying
to finalise the squad.
All life.
4 hours. Me, him, Dacker, Timmy.
Gavin.
4 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
You still got it wrong.
Yeah. Dacker still wouldn't buy a drink. Like, I remember, and this is just coming to my mind, you're speaking about inviting parents to academy sessions. I remember having a conversation about academy coaches going to clubs to do sessions. Remember that? No, it never took off. I thought it was a great idea to offer up, our academy coaches to say, look, we'll go in there and do a session for your 12s of a Tuesday night or whatever if you want. But that would have been a great idea.
You know, we do that in CK at the moment.
I was about to say, are you doing that? Is that something you're doing at the moment?
And we're doing it in all the counties. We've been doing it in Highview and Kilkenny. We've been to Ballymurphy and Carlow. We've done a couple of teams in Wexford. But our door is always open. If there's any club out there wants our academy coaches come down and do 1 or 2 sessions, whatever age group, we'll come down and do that.
Is that a recruitment drive, though?
No, of course it's not. Why would we don't go on to players and say we want you? And that was one of the things I knew about bringing up to our recruitment. We don't go after players individually. They have to come to us first, and then we bring them in for training sessions.
What do you mean go to you first? Elaborate on that.
Well, we put an expression of interest out on our web, on our social media.
So you're going for players then?
We don't go.
That's a Mickey Mouse expression of interest.
No.
EOI has its own professional world.
We do an expression
to get a burger.
Yeah,
we go get the burger.
Yeah. We do an expression of interest and ask anybody who wants to come and get seen by our coaches on the basically trials, but we call them assessments because we do it over about 4 weeks, and they're invited in over the whole 4 weeks.
Yeah, but you know who's good and who's not good, Pete. And I don't mean not good, but
no, but you don't, because see, yes, I know. Obviously, our coaches will know who's good in Carlow, or might know a few players in Kilkenny. We have lads coming from Wexford, Tipperary, South Tipperary area, Midlands leagues, lads that we've never seen before, never heard of, and we get lads coming down from Dublin, but really we don't. Dublin doesn't meet our remit because it's too far away.
And they're passing 5 or 6 clubs.
Well, that's the other thing. If there's 5 or 6 clubs in Dublin that they're not coming to, there has to be a reason why they're coming to us. So, but our remit is Carlow, Kilkenny and surrounding counties. Dublin's not a surrounding county.
But if you go back to that point about the Dublin thing, right? So you have a young lad at 16 years of age after getting the bullet from a Bray Wanderers or whatever, right? And comes down to you. Are you saying that, well, you couldn't make it there, not going to make it here? Like, if your remit is to develop, does it matter the quality of the player?
Of course it matters the quality of the player. Because
well, if he's after having good level coaching,
couple of chances like that.
Yeah.
But then why is the first question you have to ask, why is he not still at Bray or whichever club he's at?
Manager didn't like him.
Now, what we do, we've got one young lad who's playing for our 20s now. He's down from Shamrock Rovers. Rovers couldn't pick him when they went from 17s to 19s because there's a big gap, and the Rovers manager rang us because we got on well with Rovers, and he rang us and said this young lad is top quality but we don't have enough spaces for him because obviously the size of Rovers. He said, but we know that your coaching is good and he's do the right things. Okay. So he's down with us and he's tearing it up now because he came in with a Dublin attitude, but he's now been changed a bit by our under-20s manager, and he's excellent. Scored a couple of goals from the halfway line last year.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
So that's the next point I want to get to, and we stay on the Dublin club thing. Do you think they'll always have the power then? Like, is that not a bit degrading for them to say, we're not signing this lad, but Carlow Kilkenny, here you have to have half-decent coaches, take this lad?
I don't think it's degrading.
Is it the same division?
Well, the way it works out, we all start in the same division. Well, it's not division. You have just regionalised. So you have 7 or 8 teams that you'll play, and then the top 2 or 3 will go into what they call the elite section or the top division to try and win the league. And obviously, your St. Pat's, the Rovers, the Corks, and all that who have the bigger pick. everybody dreams of going to these first division or these Premier Division clubs. So obviously we're going to be bypassed by some of them, not all of them, but some of them. So obviously, but they're bigger. So if they've got players coming from this direction, they will pass them back to us.
That chap eligible to play against? So Shamrock Rovers his home club?
No,
he's now CK United Peter Harvey.
He's ours, yeah.
All right.
There's no such thing as loans in underage football.
No loans, right? Okay.
No.
I know you're kind of big on the whole thing of results don't matter. We want to progress players, right? But is there aspirations for you to get into that elite level at 15, 17?
100% right it is, yeah.
How close have you been?
Well, one year we got to the Shield final in under-15s. We have actually qualified for the elite stage, but as you can imagine, we didn't do great in it. But to just get to it once was great. But it is our, obviously, ambition for all our teams to get to the elite stage.
How far are you away from it?
It all depends what age groups we're talking about.
Let's go.
Say the 15s.
I like the 20s age group. I think 20s you're turning into a man, and it's probably as close as League of Ireland Premier football are going to get to until they make the step.
Yeah.
So
is that your oldest age group, 20s?
20s boys, yeah, the 90s women.
How far is that away now?
First team?
Yeah.
First team men's is probably, and women's is probably about the same. We're talking about February 2026.
You got a bit of a knockback on women's this year, did you?
We did, but we didn't expect to get it. We went for it and we gave a big presentation of where we are and what we're looking to do. And we sent about a 170-page presentation to the FAI. It's great.
Send up the book of Kells to the
but it's all about it was showing them where we'd been and what facilities we had and all our infrastructures and all that sort of stuff, coaching levels. But with our 20s, this season is only our second year at the highest level of underage. At 20s last season, at the midway point this time of the season when you split the leagues and go back into your shields and cups, our under 20s had no points this time last year.
That was a full fixture
for 6 months.
For 6 months.
First 6 months of the season.
And we're badly losing every game.
There's a couple of games were a bit competitive, mainly losing most things. Right. But we had a very young squad. There was another 20s, but we had people like Patrick O'Connor and Dylan Murphy and a few others who were actually under 17s and stepping up to this.
Wow.
So
that's a big step up. It's a big difference. Yeah,
massive step up. But this season, like last weekend, the 20s drew away to Cork 0-0, and Izzy had a couple of chances he could have scored. Another lad that came from Carlow through.
Emmanuel.
Yep.
Yeah, good player, yeah.
Very good player.
Where are you playing your home games?
We played under 20s in the Watershed and under 19s women's in the Watershed. And then we play our Saturday teams in Ballin and Burn Celtic, and our Sunday teams play in Collection. So
you're nomads.
We are nomads, yeah, 100%. But we've been lucky enough to be given a licence or a lease by Carlow Council for the pitch in Tullow that used to be Tullow Town. Okay. So we're just waiting on a grant application coming through, and we're going to start developing that into our own training
centre. Tullow Town's pitch?
Yeah.
Is that big enough?
It is for our academies. It wouldn't be for the first teams.
No.
There'll be no games there, so be training.
No, for the underage there could be games.
Okay.
What's
the criteria then, just to go back to the women's thing? So
not working easier over there, Doppy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we know we've been up.
So I was in it.
Tullow Town tournament. You used to love playing it.
7-a-side, was it?
7-a-side, yeah.
Never played.
Anybody really didn't play Gaelic? That was your fitness in the summer.
Oh really?
Brilliant.
Was it good? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Cray had one as well, did it? Sean Brennan tournament, right? Saying that.
It wasn't. That was sort of at the Sean passed. I think I'm not 100% on that, but used to do a memorial tournament, sort of.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't know whether it's 5 or 7-a-side, but I know it wasn't 11-a-side. But the Tullow Town one was famous. It came from everywhere.
I've never played in it.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's
I played the one in Strabally years ago. Strabally had one, 7-a-side. It was a massive.
Yeah, and that was great. So 7-a-side, there was no shingars, nothing like that.
Yeah, and not much run right up my street.
Yeah, suit you, Podge. Sit in the 6, baby.
Suits you, sir. Where did you fall down then on the application?
On facilities.
As in you haven't got a home?
We don't have... The pitch in the Watershed is an excellent pitch. We put in dugouts this year. Our club put them in, not the Watershed.
Pitch, yeah.
It is,
yeah. It's a great pitch. It's up to standard now. Well, we went in there last year, and they'd had Freebooters were playing there. Kilkenny United were playing on that pitch. So the pitch was terrible.
Complex, isn't it?
But now, we're the only team that plays on that grass pitch. So the pitch is in excellent condition at the moment.
CK United is the only team that plays down there now.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a bit of a stand on it?
No, not yet. But that's a plan. That was a plan.
I played 2 years ago on it.
Off the running track. Is there not kind of an area off the running track there
There's
at the
a-
AstroTurf side?
Yes, it's a stand.
Oh, is it, Pop?
Yeah.
No, but it's not a seated stand. It's just a standing area. So there is a standing area there, but there needs to be, to play League of Ireland, you need a stand. It only needs to be 200 or 400 people. It's not a big stand when it comes to the women. It needs to be a bit bigger for the men. But our plans were that we were going to put a stand in there for the Women's League if we'd have got into it.
Okay.
So that's still on the agenda if we get into it.
Where would you have put it? Like on the track?
On the far side, away from the actual watershed building. We have our dugouts that side, and we're going to put them at the back of it. So it'll be the far side of the track.
Should like the stand in
Be like Waterford, like.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the exact same as sort of Waterford. Yeah.
Waterford's like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
RTC, yeah. But like a stand, is it like you look and see the one in Ferry Carrick, like it's scaffolding.
Yeah.
Like is it that big of a deal to put them together, or is there a
Well, what we were looking at, you can get stands put in. They're called modular stands, but basically they're porta cabins that have been
I've seen them.
renovated
Yeah,
into, and they're very good.
Okay.
So they're good standard, and we were looking at them. You can get them from any size, from 50 up to 500, 1,000, because all they do is put the porta cabins
you
together.
have to have a stand, is that what they're saying?
You have to have it for League of
to
Ireland
hold
first
a
team.
minimum capacity of
Yeah,
what?
but 200 for the Women's National League.
And for
to
men,
start
for
with.
that under 20s team.
But there's none for the
None for those.
underage.
It's adults you're talking about.
It's adults football,
right.
yeah.
Is it
That-
fair to say, Peter, that and this is again, it's not slight or anything, that you won't be properly established till you have that place that you're on? Like even I know the watershed is grand there, but it's not yours. Do you understand me?
Well, no, I think you're actually wrong there. I mean, and the reason I think you're wrong is, tell me how many teams actually on their own grounds.
No, I don't. No, I don't mean as in you've gone out and you've got a mortgage for a place and it's yours. I mean like Turner's Cross, Inchicore, Tallaght Stadium, Bray Wanderers pitch, Ferry Carrick, the RTC,
Carlisle Grounds, isn't it? Yeah.
Carlisle Grounds, the Bray. Yeah, have like
That's theirs, like.
you know, Sligo Stadium, Monaghan have one. Like, and we've been to them. And there's a relic sitting in Kilkenny.
Yeah.
That's probably one potentially.
Oh, yeah.
Could
Buckley
be.
Park.
Yeah.
Buckley Park.
Well,
yeah.
obviously that's our ambition. We want Buckley Park.
Okay.
There's no doubt about it. That's our ambition. But as you're saying, we do want a home, and you can call that a home, just like you call the Tallaght Stadium a home, owned by Dublin City Council.
Yeah.
The Waterford Stadium, not owned by Waterford.
But I mean,
But that's their spirit. Never
yes.
taken off them.
When it comes to
They just signed a big lease on it. So
yeah, but when it comes to what I'm saying to you is to be an established League of Ireland club, you have to have somewhere that your anchor is planted.
yeah.
Right. And I know technically you're correct. The RTC is not owned by Waterford.
Yeah.
Tallaght Stadium isn't, but it's there.
Wexford's not owned by Wexford.
Not anymore.
From the outside looking in, Peter, you're the inside looking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand your answer.
Yeah.
Right? But from the outside looking in,
Yeah,
the answer from us to you was like, but you don't even have your own pitch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where if CK United was in Buckley Park, sure, that's CK United's grounds.
Well, our argument
You
at
know
the
what I'm trying
moment,
to say?
Yeah, I get
we've
you.
been in the
Yeah.
watershed 2 or 3 years now playing,
Yeah.
and that's what we would consider as our senior pitch, because we play both our senior teams, the 19s women and the 20s men. So that's what we consider as our home pitch, and then we play in other club grounds for our underage academies. So we do. That's what we take it as at the moment, and then obviously if we get the pitch in Buckley Park, for instance, at some point in the future, then that would be our home as well. But it'll be the same situation. It's very unlikely we'll own them. We'll be renting this accommodation.
No,
So it's the same thing,
it's
yeah.
a good answer in regard to what you said. There is a lot of people that don't own it
Yeah,
officially,
Yeah.
but it's their ground.
I think to
You
be
know what I mean?
established, you
Yeah.
have to have a home.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know?
Well, we consider
If-
the watershed as our home at the moment.
Well, I'll
so-
tell you, if you got Buckley Park, I used to love going there watching.
Yeah.
Cooney was playing.
Yeah.
Any City the team.
I watched
Brilliant.
it-
It was
I watched
great.
a lot.
It's a great place.
We've been trying for a long
21
time.
international games in Buckley Park.
Buckley
that I went
Park,
to
yeah, I
watch,
used to be there, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Trevor, we played the Oscar Trainer final and I was on the outside pitch.
Shame.
Shame, it would have been lovely in Buckley Park.
I went down with Pat's 15s a long time ago. Kelvin Corcoran's age group, but that's a long time ago now. When he was 15s,
Yeah.
we played Booters. We played it in Buckley Park, and we got tugged out behind the goal where the new stand is.
Yeah.
The new stand, it's brand new, Papa. It's not even second fixed. Like I'd say, it's a bit bet up now.
No, but you'd be
But the
surprised what
pitch
a power
was-
wash and a bit of
The pitch was
DIY
immaculate. Pitch was immaculate. Like, and the stand then was brilliant. Like, you know.
Have you been in it? Is it? It's
Well,
not maintained, I presume.
Well, it is actually because Castle Warren were playing
Castle
it,
Warren were playing, yeah.
but they were actually stopped from playing it last year because the pitch wasn't up to standard. It was,
All right.
In regards to what?
as they said, it was dangerous at the time. The
really?
kind of league decided, or the referees decided it was dangerous. I
Wow.
don't know why, but they've tried to do it up, and that's no slight in Castle Warren because they went in.
I couldn't think of the team. I knew there was a team playing it.
But myself and Mark Scanlon, who's the League of Ireland director, and Walter Holleran, who's in charge of amenities of the League of Ireland clubs and the FAI, the three of us were in Buckley Park at the time when we were applying for a First Division licence that Kerry got, First Division licence that Kerry got, and the grass was 4 feet high.
Was it?
It was 4 feet high. It was like a hay barn.
But you can cook grass, like, come on.
Yeah, but the stand of the pitch, we were in the stand. Some of the seats were a bit, because they hadn't been used and cleaned, they needed replacing basically. But with a bit of work, you get that pitch up to stand. The pitch wouldn't take a lot. I mean, you might have to dig it up for one season and re-sow it, but there's not a lot of work to do in it because
it needs money and it needs care. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
But the argument is that is not an issue if you're getting it as your home.
No, exactly.
Like, and obviously conversations have been had for you to get it as your home. Where are you?
Ongoing.
It's ongoing. And that's no further comment.
Well, I can't, because at the end of the day it's ongoing and there's lots of factors going in it. We know that we've got the full support of the FAI to get Buckley Park, because that was part of the conversation after we didn't get the women's licence. We were talking about our homes and they were saying if we need any help we'll come down and chat to the powers that be.
It'd be brilliant to get people.
And those conversations
it's
are
not that you're not deemed a proper club, but you come across as a proper, if you have to, as a
I think it'd be great as well.
Games are in Buckley Park, that's it.
Pop up for supporters. For supporters and fans.
To go watch a match.
I'd go watch every Carlow Kilkenny
so
home
game.
If
so it's 40 minutes down the road, that's all it is. 35 minutes.
It's brilliant. Like, it'd be great. So you can't comment on it. They're ongoing. Are you closer to success now from when you started conversations?
No, the conversations are only starting up again now. We've had conversations since we basically started the club. They've been on, they've been off, they've been different things have happened.
And is it the Kilkenny County Council?
No. There's two owners of that grounds that we need to deal with.
Owns that ground privately?
Yeah.
And that's who you're dealing with?
Yeah. Trying to deal with.
Isn't it nuts that it's like a relic and they won't?
I think.
Does it not make sense?
I think it's a national disgrace, personally.
100%.
I think the government should have stepped in at some point in the past and said, hold on a second, we put X amount of money into that grounds with the stand, because that was done by grant aid.
Yeah.
So they should have went in there and said, if you're not using it...
Is it not a money maker for these boys who own the pitch, Peter? Or on the grounds? Or is it?
It's not at the moment, because...
No, but I mean, if you got...
They might be getting something out of Castle Warren, but obviously we'd have to pay a rental on it if we took it.
Are they thinking residential development or something?
I think that was in the past, but I think it was stopped by Kilkenny Council. Okay. They went for that,
and it's to be sports and recreation only.
It's on the sports and recreation, so I don't think they're going to get...
It's hard. There's a nursing home at the very front, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to put a big house and step beside that.
Not really, I mean...
No, but you know...
You only had to look on the Tuller Road here in Carlow.
Yeah, well, I suppose,
There's a nursing home right next to the orchards and all that.
Yeah, I know, but it's...
Yeah, well, I get you. It will be
the nursing home.
I know what you mean.
Like, you don't go through the nursing home to get to the orchards.
Yeah, but they put if they're putting the houses on the Buckley Park, you wouldn't have to go near the nursing home. You're going off the road, wouldn't you? Or off the other road.
I tell you, Peter, I hope he's good. I really do.
So it's in our ambitions.
It's a shame to see it the way it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. I used to love going watching games in it. I really did.
Yeah. I think we need it as a club.
But it's a perfect fix. There's a stand there. Bit of DIY in it.
Well, apart from that, I mean, like, we do get decent crowds at some of our games, but I've never seen the two of you there. I don't think. I know you were involved for a while, Podge, but there wasn't great crowds coming.
No.
But the two of you have already turned around and said you'll come down and watch us play in Buckley Park, and I think that's the attitude of a lot of people here in Carlow and in Kilkenny.
Well, I presume
the atmosphere in Kilkenny.
There's a lot of people involved in Kilkenny soccer that's heard of matches going on in Buckley Park.
Yeah.
Once there's no hurling.
During the summer.
Oh my God.
For me, during the summer, so I'm not really big into the GA. I'd watch the GA, alright, but I wouldn't be a massive GA fan. But like, I'd go down there in a second and watch. If she lets me. And, where do you see the club in 5 years?
Well, the way the FAI are progressing things, obviously I've said that we're looking for men's and women's football 2026, which is a real possibility because there's a third tier coming in for the men. But we've also had discussions that if the third tier doesn't happen, we might go and look ourselves at intermediate to give the older people who are coming through the club the opportunity to progress.
Are you talking Leinster Senior League?
Intermediate, yeah, LSL, yeah.
Okay.
And that'd be to start with. And then when the third tier come in, then it could be the next step up for us.
Is that not, it's interesting you say that now, is that not a digression then? Like, so are you saying then we're going as far as 20s, we have no men's first division side, but we do have a Leinster Senior League side? Like, could players not just go back to their home clubs? Or go to another League of Ireland club?
Of course they can, but the thing about Carlow and Kilkenny, there's no team in Carlow Kilkenny plays Leinster Senior League.
A tie? Leinster Senior League?
That's Kildare.
Like Noak are a monster?
They are a monster.
Do you know what I mean?
But they shouldn't, in my opinion, I mean, I went to an FAI General Assembly meeting recently, and they had a map up of all the different levels that each county play in. Carlow and Kilkenny and other leagues satisfy juveniles, satisfy junior football. We satisfy the underage National League. There's no National League team in them, and there's no intermediate football in Carlow Kilkenny. My attitude is a player who's good enough should be able to play intermediate football, which is the next step up after junior, obviously, for his own club or a club in his own county. And at the moment, there's nothing here. So I don't think it's a digression, obviously, if we want to play National League. And and we've already been told that they want us in the third tier, which is one down from the first division. But if it's not there, if they haven't started it, they're actually going after Leinster Senior League teams to fill that third tier. So why don't we go into the intermediate, and then once the third tier becomes a reality, then we go into it.
How far away is that third tier?
It's supposed to have happened last year.
Oh, so it's close then?
So it's very close. It's all about getting the timing right. It's all to do with this new player pathway that's coming in now. It's all been explained about the new calendar season, all that stuff, and that's part of it. So that's part of that new process. So hopefully 2026 that'll be in play.
That'd be great.
I think so.
Because a lot of the Premier sides reserve team are going and playing that.
It would,
I guess how the A League worked at the time. I was kind of involved with the FC Carlow. It was a great division.
Yeah,
tough.
Good standard, though, isn't it?
Oh, savage standard, but tough. But a fantastic standard and a great pathway for players to get into different clubs and things like that as well. But like, I mean, that will put you in to senior football then, right? If that third division comes. So if we're
third tier, not third division. It's
third tier. So if we're still third division, third tier, yeah. But we're still on that 5-year plan thing, right? Does promotion relegation come into it? So does that change your outlook then on? Does that have a domino effect on a lot of things if you're in that third tier and you want to get into the second tier and eventually Premier?
Yeah, the way that third tier will work, there'll be a north and south divide. So there'll be so many teams in each division, and obviously they'll play each other at the end of the season. The winners of each division will play each other, and they'll be given the opportunity to promote to the first division, and there'll be teams coming down from that division. But to do that, you then have to have the correct infrastructure. You may not have to have as high an infrastructure as in stands and dressing rooms, media rooms. There's lots of stuff you have to do to get into the first division. But if your club has attained that, then you have an opportunity to step up into the first division. So there will be promotion and relegation. And it should be. I mean, to me, every league should have promotion and relegation. And I know that's a bugbear with some of you, so it's...
As me and Papa stare at each other.
How do you actually get progression if you get told, oh, there's no relegation or no promotion?
Yeah, well,
how do you attract players?
But there's something I want to touch on there. You mentioned about a third tier. My opinion is that third tier in relation to facilities should be the very same as the second tier, because there's not like you're chasing promotion, you get into promotion position, all of a sudden you're told you haven't got media room, bud, see you after. Like, it should be the same. But
that's not the way it'll work. What will happen when you're playing that third tier, if you're doing very well, the FAI in Walton Hall or whatever come and say, right, these are your facilities. They'll obviously be given encouragement to do them up whenever anyway, and they'll be given priority going for grants and all that sort of stuff when you get to that level. But then Walter will come down and say, right, these are the criteria you need. This is what you're falling down on. To get a media room, all it needs is a porter cabin.
Yeah.
4 or 5 grand and you got a media room. So they're not big money. But if you're given the opportunity, if you're given the knowledge prior to what you need, then you can keep working. Because if you've gone out and got the players that's going to get your promotion to the first division, you're going to have that ambition to go out and get the facilities correct, especially when you have your own facilities.
Do you think you'll go professional in that 5 years?
No, I can't see us having the money to go professional. Although if you want to go Premier League from next season, you're going to have at least 12 professional players playing for you.
So it is something that, I know it might be a pipe dream now,
Yeah,
but it is something that could become a quick reality.
It might not be 5 years, but it could be the 10 and 15 year plan, because obviously the more successful you get, if you get in the third tier and get promoted to first division, obviously then your ambition is to win the first division and get in the Premier Division.
Yeah.
But then you have to have at least, well, at the moment you have to have at least 12. I was just reading it today. It's gone to the FAI board about it. Next year they're going to stipulate you need at least 12 professional players. And by about 3 years' time, you're going to have 20 professional players.
Do you know where they are now, Peter, where clubs are now on that?
From what
Was there 2 full-time clubs?
From what I was reading today, I think about 80% of them have at least 12 professionals.
Okay, so they're not too far
So
away.
there's not many that don't have enough, yeah.
I know Rovers are full-time pro.
That's to fulfil the 12.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of them don't have the 20.
Okay.
But obviously, the PFA especially is turning around and saying, if we want to have a professional league at the highest standards, we have to have professional players in it. So,
Yeah.
But it's good for our players coming through. The young lad here at the moment, our lads coming through the underage, the ambition is still to go to England because that's where they're going to make their money. Whereas if we have a good professional league here, the ones that don't get that next step up to England, why can't they come and play here?
Yeah.
So
That puts you into a whole different realm, doesn't it?
yeah,
Like, even if you get into that third tier of things. Like, I'm actually delighted to hear that there's an option for you to go into that third tier, because it gives you that different realm of, we're playing senior football now, lads. Do you know what I mean? And that will attract players, coaches.
yeah.
You can go in for loan deals. You know, you can get players
There's a
out
lot-
from another division. Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of, there's a whole world open for it. On the coaching side of the house, where are you in volumes for coaches? Do you find it hard to get them?
No, we don't find it hard to get them. They're coming to us year on, year out. We put, as I said about the players, we do the same with coaches. We put expressions of interest in, but obviously we know who the coaches are.
That's his favourite there, expression of interest.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Saying it 400 times today.
You heard it
But
today.
there's a lot of people that we don't know who are involved in the coaching, but we also know a lot of people. Would you believe at this moment in time we have 44 coaches involved in our club? And that's from Shane is starting as pro come September. We've got 2 or 3 who have done their Elite A. We've got a few A licenses, quite a lot of B licenses, and then the rest are not just C's, but they're C's. But we've got 44 coaches at different levels, and included there we've got strength and conditioning coaches. We have 2 sports psychologists working the club, because obviously it's a higher level, so the players need those mentorship. That all works.
Analysis.
Yeah, we do all that analysis. Yeah, we've got the 3. They're not VOs; they're different huddle cameras now.
Yeah, no, the ones.
We've got brand new ones. Just got 3 recently,
Okay.
and they're top quality. So it's
So you say, like, it's funny, isn't it? No, I don't think we'll ever go professional. No, but we do have 2 sports psychologists. Do you know, we've analysts, we've 44 coaches.
All they're missing now is
Like-
Satan's Greasy, me and you.
Yeah. Do you see a time where the FAI are going, because the Brexit thing and players aren't going to England as freely now, right? Do you see a time where be more emphasis on us, as in on our leagues, to say we may start giving these grants to let them be professional, to let them pay salaries,
Help them, like.
help them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think we're already at that stage.
Okay.
There's a big campaign going on at the moment between the League of Ireland, the FAI, and they've been up to the Doyle committees quite a few times, and there's a big plan in place to try and get hundreds of millions out of the government to upgrade facilities, upgrade the coaching standards, and get minimum amount of paid coaches within each club.
How would me and Papa get a little slice of the 100 million?
But that's what it's all about, though. I mean, it's about encouraging people to say, look, come in here, you've got a chance of getting a good salary, or a salary that's going to make it worth you.
I don't think I could. For me, I don't think I could go in and do it full time, because I'm probably not even a qualified coach anymore, to be honest with you. It's that long since
I doubt that.
Do you know what I mean? But you know what I'm trying to say, like, on paper. So you could have someone that's in there, and as you said, you have how many B licensed coaches?
Oh, we've got loads.
Like, why do I be licensed with 2 in Carlo, Gary Cody,
Yeah.
and mine? Do you know, like, so I don't know, but that is like
So many comes
but
from
we
college
all-
every year now, isn't it?
that's what I'm
But
saying.
we all know in those days, like you were a decent B licence coach, and so was Gary. But we, and I could name them, but I'm not. But we know B
Surely you could have
licence.
said a better word than decent.
We know we know B licence coaches that weren't up to that standard.
Yeah, I know license
And-
coaches aren't up to that
Yeah,
standard.
correct. So
Yeah.
just because you've got a licence doesn't make you the best.
But what comes with support, Peter, is guidelines. So if you're getting grants, you can be sure that you're going to have X amount of B licence, L licence, and pro licence coaches.
That's correct.
You know, which I think is the biggest load of shite, by the way. It'd be different if I was driving a bus, do you know what I mean? Or, you know, I needed some kind of health and safety to run a chipper. But, like, I'm coaching soccer. I shouldn't need... because it's universal. But that's just my view on the whole thing.
But we are. I understand that, and I don't disagree, because I know a lot of coaches that don't have a badge to use to lads, and well, you've got your badges, but I don't think you've got many proper, have you?
No.
And I'll tell you now, you're one of the best coaches that we've ever had in Carroll. So just because you don't have it on paper doesn't make you a bad coach. But to me, if somebody wants to go to the top level,
You have to have it.
they have to have it on paper, because you've got other coaches around you, and other lads look at you and say, who the hell do you think you are? And when you're saying, hold on a second, and you've had those conversations when we were out in Carroll,
We have,
IT, with other coaches that thought they were better than what they were.
Difficult conversations,
Yes.
yeah.
So, and if you're able to say, this is what I am and this is what I've got, that helps you make those conversations.
Yeah.
And remember, League of Ireland, you've got players that are, the potential is to be like the top players in the country, or going across the water as well. I mean, you coach Peter Grogan playing in Bray. He's a lad that's going to go all the way, I think. And there's other lads that had that potential that could have had it as well. So,
But you can have, like you said, you can have your UEFA A, B, C, whatever it is. There's a certain way to get your point across,
yeah,
and you either have that or you don't.
yeah, I agree.
And you can't coach that.
It's, yeah.
I mean,
So
your
if you...
delivery of what you want out of a player.
Yeah,
What I found on a lot of them courses is that when you're sitting in the classroom and the tutor is there delivering the way he delivers things, 90% of the classroom goes and mimics him and delivers the very same way he delivers
Yeah,
it,
I know.
without understanding what it was.
Put your own spin on it.
Do you get me?
Yeah, yeah.
Like to know something, like I can watch a Formula 1 car driving. Do you know
Can't
what I
drive
mean?
the car.
And I'm going to get in and try and drive, but I'm not going to be able to.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to do the very same thing he done.
Yeah.
Why aren't I the same?
Yeah.
Do you know? So I think you have to have an insight and some level of knowledge to be able to deliver things. And I've said this before, Papa, the important thing on the coach is the deliveries.
No, it
It's
is.
how you deliver it
No.
and understand what you're
I
delivering.
understand that there's drills and that
I-
other lads couldn't do, but you can do all the training all you want. The talk before a match, the instruction at half time is crucial.
yeah,
It's,
Well-
do you know what I mean? It's vital as all this.
yeah. And I mean, it's
Some coaches miss that who are, I think, overcoach.
yeah. Oh yeah, players can get overcoached.
Qualified
Yeah.
on paper to have all their badges in their pocket, but they're overcoaching.
Well, we have a thing in CK that, like, Shane's obviously starting as pro, so he's an educator as well.
Yeah.
And we've had discussions about this. And the big discussion we had a couple of years ago was that when they're doing their other courses, they've got tutors basically who have been doing it for the last 10, 15 years. And like any teaching job, you have your thing in front of you. That's how you deliver it. And you don't change it because you're not actually out there coaching. Like FAI coaches or staff are not allowed to get involved in National League clubs or any club. They're allowed to go and coach the coaches, but they're
Yeah.
not allowed to get involved.
Yeah.
So how do they progress if they're not actually involved in the game? So we actually have a thing in our club that we coach the coaches. So Shane runs coaching sessions and brings down the top lads out of Dublin to help him out of the big clubs in Dublin, but he delivers those coaching sessions. And how we want it done, I went to one of them just because I was interested how it was working, and they were all given a task to do. And the way when you go to an FAI course, you have to provide basically a template of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So the first thing these coaches done, this is 3 or 4 years ago, was had that template up because they were told, this is what you need to do and this is what we want you to deliver to the players. So it had to be like the coaches were doing it. So when they done their presentation, it was supposed to be how they were going to deliver to the players. And they had this template up, what they were going to do, first 15 minutes to this and so on. And I'm like, the players don't want that.
No.
And like, he went through 3 or 4 coaches, and then like I turned around and said myself, players don't want to hear that.
But without you even saying something, Peter, you'd know by a player's face.
I knew. Well,
Do you know what I mean? You would know.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
But then Shane got up and said, "This is your remit. this is what you were told to do. And within 3 minutes, he'd done his own presentation. In 3 minutes, he gave everything out there, all the information. So the players would understand, this is how we're going to attack, this is how we're going to defend, and so on.
But simple.
But because those coaches had gone through the FAI pathway, they thought they had to go through all the stages.
Yeah.
But it's experience, and that's what that's about. So that's what he's teaching them. He's doing
that's
coach
great.
training.
That's brilliant. Like, and I've often looked at alternatives, and cover coaching used to come up a lot, which is an alternative. Actually, was that York in the plots years ago on cover coaching? It's just a different alternative. New Zealand used it.
That was your man
for their senior team when they got to the World Cup and all that.
What's his name from Shelbourne? Who was Des Clark's friend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What used to do that?
Yeah, it was good. It was actually good. It was a good alternative, and I just think that it's like they're privatising. You know, the coaching is privatised. It's like VHI or something like that. You know what I mean? Where it's privatised. Where this
that's
this
going
is
on
how
all
we
over
do
the
it.
country. Private coaching.
I know, but what I'm saying to you is because the game's universal. Like, what's to say to me? You can't sit up in the morning. P&P coaching clinics coming to a club near you, and we go and we coach. You know,
and there's nothing to stop you.
Yeah,
there's no rules to stop you. You can go and do that.
Like, I would love to give the best coach in the country 11 players, and a coach who's only doing it for the very first time 11 players, and see what the score in the matches.
Yeah.
And the guy who is only starting it beats him 2-0. Who's the better coach?
Who's the qualified one?
Who's the qualified one?
But who's the better one? That's the question. Yeah.
So it's actually, I love hearing that guy is doing that coaching and coaching, because that's brilliant.
That's so important.
You know,
well, we've got. He's basically setting up a CK DNA, and that's what we have on a lot of stuff. CK DNA, because he wants to coach them the way he wants it done, rather than the way.
And is that
else.
in line? That's what I'm going to ask you. Is that in line? Do you have a style going through the club, a playing style?
We are. Well, obviously, with my background, I want attacking football, and that's what we're trying to do.
What's your background?
My Celtic background.
Oh, sorry.
Also, don't forget Celtic background. Yeah, we play good attacking football. So that's what we're trying to promote. It doesn't work all the time when you're playing the bigger clubs, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's the standard. So we do have a DNA that we're trying to get our coaches all to adhere to. And we do. He does those coaches sessions, brings them through everything. But then they're given how the warm-ups need to be the same all the time for all the clubs, all the players. So if the player comes from 15s to 17s, he's doing the same thing. So he knows how to play. So there is a DNA happening there. And we want to have a good style of football where people want to come and play for us. There's no such thing as kicking the ball long all the time, but that option is always there.
It is, but yeah. And
every club needs that. So, you know, you have to know when to go along and when not.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen.
No.
We play against teams in the National League, and you've been academy games with the Dublin teams. Everything has to come through the back, and all you do then is press the centre halves and the goalkeeper,
and they have to go along.
And then, but they don't. They keep doing it because they're told by the managers. The standard of coaches are telling them you still have to play out. Whereas if you play it long once or twice, that doubt is in that player's mind straight away. If I go and press him, it's going long and we're in trouble.
Well, I firmly believe that's why they changed the rule about players can come inside the box and get on the ball, so that it'll stop people going up and standing on centre halves and fullbacks, stop them from playing out. Because if you go into the box to get the ball, as me as an opposing player, I can't go in and mark it. So technically, you're still playing out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And more and more, if you think about it, it starts with a central defender passing to the goalkeeper. It's not the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch England last night?
It is, yeah. Fell asleep.
Did you watch him playing out in the back?
Oh my God.
It's the worst pattern. Like, it's so obvious.
He's not a good
Your man
enough manager.
Saka. He's a good player.
Yeah.
It's not
But
better
the
than Cole
difference with
Parker.
Palmer, come on. I don't know whether your man is carrying knock.
But see, the game was stretched up, Papa. It was late in the game. I would like him to see. Sorry for going off topic. While we're on the Euros. It's the first game I'm watching the Euros, and I was saying to myself, England are qualified. Why didn't he go and start Palmer? Why didn't he start your man from Newcastle, the winger from Newcastle? Gordon. Why didn't he play Tony up front?
Bellingham looked tired, and so does Kane.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Where are you in the decision-making process for the club? How does that work?
So basically, we've got 3 people on the board. Myself, Fran Egan, the other original founder in the club, and Shane Dunphy, who's our academy director. The 3 of us are the board. Then we have a club committee below us. So we meet with them. Well, the board meets every week about everything that's happening in the club and the progression, and then jobs are given to the club committee for them to advance where we're at. So it's, as always, it's not a one-man show.
Yeah.
And you know me long enough to know that I'm not that way. It's all about committee decisions. And
Yeah.
Because
It's the best way to have it, Peter.
The only way to have it. In my,
And the separate then, say, because, let's be honest, you are dealing with a different level of finances, right? Like, I know how finances work in League of Ireland. It's a different level than anything you'll ever know.
Yeah.
It's potentially 25 grand a year to run a 15 side before a parent puts their hands in their
It's
pocket, right?
20
Probably gone
grand.
up, is it?
It's 20 grand minimum per team.
Minimum. That is minimum.
Minimum.
So,
That's some haul, isn't it?
yeah, it's nuts. So the separate that from the coach's side of things, as in like you're making decisions on the finances and all that jazz, and we'll leave the coaching to the directors and things like that, or are you collective in everything?
No, Shane is academy director. He's on the board, so obviously he's part of that, any decisions about finance and how we get it done. Fundraising, we have a fundraising committee with parents that help us because they understand. And like we have a meeting every year with the parents at the start of the season, explain finances to them, how it works, and we explain what we charge on registration, why we charge that figure. But it's expensive because if you think about it, it works out about €1,000 a player. We don't charge €1,000 because if it's 20 grand to run a team, your squad is 20. It works out about 1,000 a player.
What are you at? What is it per player then per year?
We charge 400 registration per player.
That includes
That includes the 400 registration.
Fucking hell.
But
There's no gear or anything involved.
no, well, we used to charge 500 and give them gear, but then we had a discussion with some parents because, okay, so a new player comes in, he gets €100 worth of gear. He needs it, but a player that's been there 2 years, why does he need €100 worth of gear every year?
But see,
Yeah, well, 2 years ago, it could have been 4 foot.
Yeah, but
Now he's 6'2".
but then it's their
You're
choice.
not going to wear a boxer shorts around the
Yeah,
field.
but then it's their choice what they want to get. They still get told you have to have the gear.
Yeah.
But we don't change what the gear is. So from a player who's an under 14 player this year, when he goes to under 17s in 2 years, he'll still be under 16 obviously, but when he goes to under 17, if he's that same size or near enough, he can keep his gear.
you can't go up a step in professionalism and try and produce
But
training gear on the sessions and things like that.
No. They have to go and buy it. I mean, they're told this is where you get it from, and we give them the link from the shop, and they go and buy the gear from the shop.
So how much
You
is
got
it?
your own shop.
So if my
It's on the Club Sport shop. So our supplier has a shop.
if a 15-year-old is selected in a squad of 20, how much is it costing them?
Starts at 400, but the registration is 400
Plus,
any gear he needs to get.
which is
There's no set figure because we say this is the minimum. You have to have
No, but like he needs socks.
it'd be a ton at least, surely, would it?
it wouldn't even be that much. It works out about 70 or 80 quid for the minimum.
I presume that it's a training t-shirt.
Training t-shirt,
Jacket.
half zip. They don't need a jacket to train.
No, but a half zip. Or like a
Yeah.
wetproof one.
Well,
Yeah.
So it's you're touching 500. Will that be beneficial for you to buy gear, and then when the player arrives, their gear is there and they put it back in?
No, because it costs a lot of money to do that. The gear's there within a week anyway.
Well, here's
so.
the kicker, right? If you had Buckley Park and you had it all set up,
That's a different
it
story.
wouldn't cost you a penny.
When it starts coming to merchandising, when you have a first division team, that's a whole different level. Because as we already spoke about it, you get bigger support and all that stuff. But at present, we're talking about it. And at the moment, we have a club shop that we get a link and they go in and buy their stuff. So,
you should set up and buy me a coffee there. Do you know?
Yeah.
If you're bobbing that.
Oh yeah.
No, but I just think if you had
Or
the
a
kind
sports to
of
get them on the podge.
Cora Sports look after you, Pig. On mind the old sport dirt. If you had
Skiing crowd. Bringing the slaloms.
who's watching Peter Schmeichel? He was a little sport,
He
wasn't
was
he?
old sports, yeah.
If well, I was good. This is the final point on the established thing. So if you're established and you had Buckley Park, you could do them things. You could make them changes, which drops registration all of a sudden, which drops how much it's going to cost, and it actually turns to the point where we have to pay you to come play now, right? It gets not at 15s, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I presume 20s is the same.
But when you're going into that third tier is when.
when we do that third tier and we start getting bigger sponsorships, because we have been speaking to some people who are interested in sponsorships, but they're not really that interested. Well, we don't have a first team. But we're at the point where it's just the same as other situations when we only have 15s teams, then we're only a small club, so
Yeah.
even though you're playing a national stage, But now we've got a lot of sponsors already come in with us. So, but the bigger you get, the more sponsorships are out there. The people want that, you know.
Yeah. I just think it's a shame. I understand there's a cost. I mentioned that it's very expensive, but it's a shame.
Some people don't realise the cost.
Yeah, but isn't it a crying shame to play at that level and have to pay?
Yeah.
Isn't it really? Do you know, this isn't a slight on you or Karen or CK United. This should be identified by the FAI.
Oh yeah.
This should be identified.
It is identified by the FAI. But at the moment,
why are you charging €400 registration then?
Because they can't afford to give us those grants. Now, if we have a first team in the first division, then you get another 60,000-70,000 off UEFA as a solidarity grant.
Okay.
But when you don't have a first team, you don't get that. Like if we had 60-70 grand from UEFA to go towards run the underage academy, we wouldn't have to charge. But we don't have that.
It wouldn't be enough to employ people though. It wouldn't be enough to give people a salary.
No, but
not a full-time job.
No.
No, but with things like that, there is grants out there, like the football social responsibility officers. A lot of them around the country are financed by your local councils because obviously they've got jobs to do. They're running football for disability groups and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the stuff that are the council's remit. So that's our next step, and we're being encouraged by the FAI to go to our local councils and start discussing that. Wexford have it in place. Teams in Dublin all have it in place from the Dublin councils. So we're actually in the process of talking to the CEOs of both Carlow and Kilkenny.
That's what I was going to say. You have two you can hit up. Do you know, like if they split it and give you half each of what's expected, like.
No, we'd be looking for one from each. So it's like because
what figures are you talking like?
I don't know what the figures.
You didn't hear what Dublin clubs got around like that.
There is a grant that comes out. There's a accepted standard, and I don't know what it is at the moment. So.
You're the busiest man on the phone I've ever seen in my life.
No, but that's...
Isn't he?
Busy's watching anyway, don't read the phone.
I'm switching it off on the phone. On the watch. That's what happens when your academy managers are trying to get hold of you. You just have to turn them off, you know.
I wish you all the success in the world.
Yeah.
As a friend, first of all, right? But as a club, I think it's massive. I think it's massive for football in this county. They're Michael Kenny at the minute in this county. For us to have a League of Ireland side is massive. But for us to get an established League of Ireland side that creates a bit of history and brings through players. Because I often hear lads still talk about Kilkenny City.
Yeah.
And how good they were and what that meant to Kilkenny and the crowds that were going there. But what killed Kilkenny City was the recruitment. Right? And they started bringing in lads from Dublin or lads who were winding down or like, you know, and it wasn't Kilkenny anymore.
It's already happening in other League of Ireland clubs at the moment. Like a lot of Dublin players coming down to them and they're not getting the support from the locals. The crowds are great in League of Ireland, but they could still be a lot better because there is teams heavily relying on Dublin and players coming in from abroad as well on loan signings. How does that help your local talent to go to the next level?
So do you think, like there's two things that you can be successful with. You can go down that route and try and get in players from different player areas with the best of your area and go and make it. Or you can do the Athletic Bilbao, was it? Or that Celtic team that won the European Cup.
6-7, yeah.
Everyone was within 10 miles of Celtic Park?
All the players were within 30 miles.
Within 30 miles.
But that's only because Bobby Lennox came from Saltcoats, which is 30 miles from Celtic Park. Yeah. Everybody else come within about 3 miles of Celtic Park.
So this is what I'm saying to you. And I'm not even trying to bring it back to that. I'm not even trying to compare that. But what I'm saying to you is you will get more of a support and you leave more of a football legacy, if you like, if you started using the local players. So you take junior soccer at the minute, your Dean Kellys, your Chris Galls, your Papa Dolans, who would have loved the jump, to get an opportunity to play at that level. And obviously I'm missing out on hundreds of others. Like there's a pool there for you.
Pádraig Hammonds is doing in Watford at the moment.
Pádraig.
On the Pádraig today.
Oh yeah. Is it coming on, yeah?
It's coming on, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. He looks fit as a flea, man.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. He was going out to the dog park to play a few holes.
Alright, okay.
I know he's...
Big fan of the podcast, is he?
Yeah, he likes it, yeah. He listens to it. Yeah.
But no, I think...
Quickly sent it on to me.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
He's a good lad. I met him in Cardiff.
He's a good lad.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
When Ireland beat Wales 1-0, when James McLean scored, the first person I met in Cardiff was him.
Where were we, Pop?
We were in Vegas. Upside down on the flower bomb.
I got out of the taxi in Cardiff and he was standing there.
Never that bad.
So, yeah, I'll never forget. His legs dangling in the air.
Singing Dean Martin upside down on the flower bomb. or Christy Hennessy.
And I was sending videos to pubs in Cardiff.
So, like, I mean, it's massive if you can get to that level where you're locally sourced, locally based players, you know, from Carlow and Kilkenny. I think that's where your remit is going to be. I think that's where you're going to be at your most successful.
Well, we want. It's always been my remit. We've talked about this before, and actually, Pod, you were the first person that said to me long before I started Carlow Kilkenny, wouldn't it be great if we had a League of Ireland team in Carlow?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you said that to me. But my thing has always been, I want the young players in Carlow to see a first team player for CK United walking down the street, Tull Street, or walking down Dean Street in Kilkenny or whatever, and recognising them, going over and getting an autograph.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, when I was a kid, if you met a Celtic player or any player, even from our local clubs, you'd be delighted to see them. And that's the way you have to do it. I mean, but what these clubs are bringing teams down like Kilkenny City used to and sticking them on a minibus and all the way back up again, you can't get that local feel to it.
No.
And how do you expect to have players wanting to come and watch?
Yeah,
players
get Buckley Park. That's what you do. Get Buckley
Isn't
Park.
They had Buckley Park, but they just they had everything they needed.
You're talking the dinosaurs, like, you know.
Yeah,
Like in the modern day, it'd be better run with social media. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But they had no social media then, Peter.
Our social media is very good as well.
CK needed
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I'd back in everything about
and
it.
I go as far as saying to you, Peter, you'll be nothing without it.
But you know something? What I think is great.
We'll even do the commentary in the matches for free, won't we?
What's great is though, like, we're all looking towards. Obviously, that's what we're looking for is Buckley Park. But it's great to see stalwarts of Carlow soccer saying they would 100% support it in Kilkenny. Because that's obviously a thought. Would the people in Carlow come and support us if it's in Kilkenny, or vice versa?
But you're going. You can't be arrogant to think that everyone likes what you're doing either.
I don't. I 100% know that.
Do you know what
everybody
I mean?
likes what we're doing.
And that goes back to the Kennedy Cup thing, where there's not CK United. I'm talking about League of Ireland in general, where players have left us to go play a League of Ireland, which has hurt us, right? So you're going to get some kind of backlash from that because things escalate as well, and something that happens so simple when it gets through 4 or 5 voices could be a massive thing, and that's the reason I'm not going to support you. Right?
100%. Yeah, I agree.
That 4 or 5 could turn into 40 as well. You know,
exactly.
Yeah,
it could go a long way.
There's a big hauling. Them 40 people paying a fee in and buying something in the shop, and
like I'd still have a massive interest in the Kennedy Cup, and obviously I'm great mates with Dakar Patrick Nolan. I spoke to him, you know, how Limerick go, blah blah blah, and he said to me, "Sure, it's a joke, man. We lost X amount of players, League of Ireland.
Yeah,
like it really hurt us.
He was hurt over it.
Yeah,
he was hurt over it. Yeah,
and I
kind of
get
the world to him, and in fairness, he's some man to go down. He loves it down there.
He loves it. Yeah,
it's a great week.
Every group he goes into, everybody loves him in the group. You know, he's a good lad.
He's a good lad. Yeah,
he's done a great job since. I mean, without a doubt. Dakar was the reason that Carlow done so well all the way through the academies. Because yes, he brought everybody in like yourselves and Gavin and Timmy and everybody else that came in through the books. But Dakar was the centre stone of everything. He was able to go and talk to people and get them in.
Yeah,
and it was all about man management. Dakar's probably one of the best man,
wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he's some man.
Yeah,
he deserves a lot of praise for the way things. I mean,
is there a potential for a relationship there, like a deal to say, look, we'll get them after finish Kennedy Cup?
I can't do that, and I'd love to be able to say that. But the way things are set up, if we don't have an under 14 team, and obviously we need those players for the 14 team, we won't have a club because we won't be allowed in the National League.
Well, you will have a club, but that's not a fair statement because you get players elsewhere. Well,
okay, so I bring in players from elsewhere, which is obviously what we do every year. We pick our squad. So after Kennedy Cup, would it be fair to drop those players to allow players who chose the Kennedy Cup over those players? Because I don't think that's a fair.
No, but hold on a second. You're exaggerating it because we're talking volumes here, right? So how many players would you get from, say, if Carlow I'm using Carlow as an example because that's where we are, right? Carlow go down with their full pickings. How many do you have from the Carlow Kennedy Cup squad at this exact moment, or that was potentially on it?
To be honest, I'm not sure what number is on at the moment.
Is it less than 5?
It could have been about 5, yeah.
So there you are. So you've 5 on it. So you're not losing when the time comes, and the idea that I'm talking about where you let them play their Kennedy Cup, fill the 5 other players. Hey, don't forget about development. Develop them to a level where we might need them Kennedy Cup.
Correct.
And they'll have to come in.
Yeah.
They'll have to come in the year after.
That's the point I make, but they might not get in the year after because those 5
They're
lads.
good enough to get in.
But that's life.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
but the 5 lads that came in who have been coached 3 times a week, we train 3 nights a week, so they're in 3 nights a week plus the weekend playing matches. I fully expect them to be at a better standard than the Kennedy Cup players, and that's no slight on the coaches of the Kennedy Cup. It's because the Kennedy Cup squad trains once a week and plays some games occasionally, and they play for the clubs. But the reason that those lads need to improve, and that's the reason the academies got better and the clubs got better, was because the academy coaches were training them and got them to a higher standard. And we are now training them 3 nights a week. We're good standard coaches, and that's no slight on other coaches. But you have to get better. You're fitter because you're training 3 nights a week. If you're only training 1 night a week and then going to the chipper or whatever, our lads are given nutrition programs and all that, so they're obviously physically stronger and fitter, strength and conditioning. They're obviously going to be at a higher level than the players that are only training once a week.
Let's not try and disguise now that the habits of a player who plays for Cardiff-Kilkenny and the academy is massively different, right? If the player from the academy is eating sausage, beans and chips on Friday evening, you can be sure, regardless of who done, if Christ Almighty himself gave you a nutrition plan, he's going to have chips, beans
Some
and
of them
sausage
are.
Friday. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do understand that, but,
Do you know?
but you can tell the ones that are doing that and the ones that are sticking to the nutrition plans.
Yeah.
You can see, I mean, going back to where Peter Grogan was when he was in your academy, you've seen the specimen of him with the muscle and the strength and conditioning and everything, because he kept himself to a strong regime, and look what he is now.
Yeah.
And there's other players in that squad, and we won't name them, that weren't as fit as him, that weren't ever going to get to that level because of their own personal training regimes and all that other stuff. So it's all about the player getting into the routine and doing things properly. If you don't have the ambition and the willpower, you're not going to get to that.
But that happens, like that happens at every level. Like that happens from club juvenile to club junior to Leinster Senior League. It happens at every level. Like that's an argument you're going to have for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you want to be the best, you got to be the best. If you want to be the best, you're going to go and do the right things, regardless if you're playing 3rd Division in Carlow or Premier Division League of Ireland.
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't deflect from the fact that players, from a recruitment standpoint, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for a club like Cardiff-Kilkenny to say they're actually in the Kennedy Cup squad. Right, who's not in the Kennedy Cup squad? Let's take these 3 or 4 to fill the gaps we have. Let's progress them. Because you have the coaches, you just said it, you have B licence, A licence, Pro licence.
Well, the way it's working now, like we're doing assessments at the moment for our under 13 squad. Basically, from next Monday, the 1st of July, I can sign next year's under 14 squad. So, and the reason that was done, that was an agreement between the FAI and the League of Ireland and the SFAI, was to allow leagues. So now we sign 3 or 4 players that have been in the Carlow League this year to sign for our under 13s now, who can play under 14s from next Monday. Basically, it's saying to the leagues, those lads have gone to the League of Ireland.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to play Kennedy Cup stays with your league, plays with the local club, and they can be selected for your Kennedy Cup squad. Because the biggest problem we had was we were picking our squad in January, end December, start of January, for our February start in League of Ireland.
Yeah.
So a young lad might have been in your academy, and then he had ambitions to come and play League of Ireland.
Yeah.
So then we were taking players out of the Kennedy Cup squad.
And I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying,
But
I
now,
get that.
because of the way it's set up now, I'm signing 16 lads next Monday.
Yeah.
But they've made a choice that they want to play League of Ireland. So now the Kennedy Cup squads can go and pick their squad from the rest of the players.
So when is that 15 finished then? When are they finished under 13s League of Ireland then?
Well, they won't be playing with 13s. They'll be eligible to play under 14s. So they can play straight away.
Okay, so they're playing a year older age then.
They will be then.
And when is that league wrapping up?
That wraps up in November.
So they can go straight into Academy in November then?
Yeah, but then they come back to us for under 14 next year.
The end of January, isn't it?
Well, that's when we start, but we don't really stop.
What's the
league fixtures are
closing off date?
The league fixtures finish in November, but then we don't stop with that squad. That squad will keep
You're not signing
training.
a player on the 1st of December and he has to make up his mind by the end of January.
No, this is now is the time to make the mind up, because it's unfair.
But there's players playing in the Carlow League this year that couldn't sign until the 1st of December. Who played in the Premier and Carlow this year.
No, they could have signed, but we made a decision not to, because we were asked by some clubs not to sign the young lads until the window was open in December.
Yeah, it opens the 1st of December.
Yes, and we were asked by some clubs, so we agreed to it, and they went and played for the clubs until we signed them in December. But that's because the clubs wanted to keep them.
Okay.
But now it's gone the other way. We're signing them now, and that's it. They come in with us and they get the training for 3 nights a week. They'll be still playing under 13 games against other League of Ireland clubs.
Yeah.
And they'll be playing occasionally under 14. Yeah.
1st of July till the end of August.
No.
Changed.
1st of July to the 28th of July. See, this is the thing about the calendar year football. At the moment, with your transfer windows, Carlo are playing what they call winter football, school year football. So there's 2 windows, is that?
I think it's 2 windows in the Carlo League.
But they're different to our 2 windows. So when we sign players, we're allowed to sign players to February the 22nd. But yous aren't.
No.
So we come in and take a player away from yous on February the 21st. Yous can't replace him.
Yeah, it's not in line.
Yeah.
No.
Whereas if they have the calendar year football, the players there'll be 2 transfer windows, which is December the 1st to February the 22nd. And then you'll have July the 1st to July the 28th. Everybody will be the same. So if you lose a player to League of Ireland or vice versa, we lose one back to the club because not everybody makes it.
Of course, that's part and parcel.
Yeah. So, but it means that you can replace what you're losing. But at the moment, we have the situation where after July the 28th, players can sign for your clubs until September.
And then they're out the gap then again.
So they can come out of us and go into the league club.
Yeah.
And we can't take players to replace them.
So the windows should be...
And that's the big thing about
the same the whole way down.
That's the whole thing about this player development plan.
That is on that.
They want everybody to be the same transfer windows, so that there's no one at a disadvantage, and everybody can.
A solution to the whole lot of it. Kennedy Cup under 13s.
Yeah.
Just go a year earlier.
There's 2 solutions.
Go on.
Kennedy Cup under 13s, which is obviously the way things are set up now. That's the way to me it should go. So that they can play Kennedy Cup. And if we're signing those under 13 players come the 1st of July,
it's a help to you then.
The Kennedy Cup will be massive because every National League club will be down there looking at those players.
And that puts prestige on it.
Yes, whereas at the moment, no one's going
losing at the moment.
Exactly.
Now, our players were still down there this time. And our coaches were down there for the Gainer Cup as well. But every club's, your Rovers, Pats, they were down looking to see who the best players are in the Kennedy Cup. Another one is obviously if the League of Ireland went to start on the 1st of July, like it did in the first year. Under 14.
Yeah.
And then you play Kennedy Cup and we'd be doing the same. But I think the most obvious one would just move it back 1 year to under 13.
I'd be an advocate for that.
It'll help massively everybody.
But you know what they also need to do? They need to have an under 16 standard Kennedy Cup for those players who haven't made the
late
National
developers.
League. Late developers.
Yeah.
Have an under 16. Ones are leaving juvenile football to move from juveniles to seniors, youth leagues and all that stuff. Give them an opportunity which will give the leagues an incentive to keep their under 15 academies going, their under 16 academies going, because we're looking at under 16 Kennedy Cup. And we'll be down looking at late developers because there's always a few.
You grab them for 17s then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how would it work at that. It's a different person, a 13-year-old compared to a 16-year-old. Papa, you think back to what you were doing at 16, you brat.
Pub.
You know, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Over St. Felix pitch and putt, which is gone.
It is gone, yeah.
But yes, they are a different animal, but we have those animals. You have them in your clubs as youth league players. We have them in our club playing National League. They're all very well behaved when they're with us because they know that if they don't, they'll be gone.
Yeah.
And usually be the same in your academies at 16s. If you had a pup in there, you get rid of them because one bad apple can spoil the whole lot.
That's what they're saying, yeah.
So, before.
But it's all good fun, you know.
Chris, how long have we gone? 90 minutes, okay. An hour and a half. I knew you'd squeeze more time out of any of us. Typical Scott, and he getting the best value we can out of Chris. We'll listen, like I said, I genuinely, wholeheartedly wish you all the success personally, because I consider you a mate, and I really hope that I'm down in Buckley Park watching Carol Kenny in the near future.
Second that, yeah, absolutely.
Papa, do you have anything else for P before we rock on?
No, we've covered everything. An hour and a half. It's a never-ending story.
That's I know, yeah. That's what I asked.
And it was really interesting to hear about the size of it as well. You know, it was really good.
But you're right. It's a never-ending story. We have to keep going and keep building. And
well, you have to keep going. If you want Buckley Park, you have to keep going. And
if you have any jobs,
venue for CK United.
If you have any jobs, you're willing to pay 60+ grand a year. I know 2 lads that'll take you up on it.
Yeah.
I have a couple
of all diesel money.
I have a couple of jobs I'd be willing to pay that, but my problem is I can't afford to pay it. Willing and affording are 2 different things.
Yeah, that's it.
We're going to go through 35 fixtures, Pop.
Yeah.
Friday night, Division 2, Slaney versus Burn Celtic.
Yeah.
Division 3, Nurney versus Dolman Celtic. And Ballymurphy versus Village. I don't know how them leagues are shaping up. We'll
hit on them next week, Podge. Yeah. Regardless of where we are with league tables and that.
Over 35's Cup, Felix Josephs. This is obviously the next round, is it?
No, I think, that could be Divisional Cup, Podge. I think Felix have to play. The winners of us in Felix was Collection.
You're in this.
Oh, then it must be that. Yeah.
Oh, this is the LFA. Sorry. I'm wearing glasses. I'm still blind.
Yeah.
Oh, Codai. Felix versus Josephs, Knocklinen, Bangladesh. Knocklinen. That's Tala, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
It is,
yeah. Knocklinen, yeah.
Parkville, Ballyfermot, Kinsealy United versus Crittyard, Patrician Celtic. There's a blast in the past. They were a massive club back in the Patricians, weren't they? Patrician Celtic versus Collection. Brilliant.
Saturday.
That was Saturdays.
Oh, we're in. You must have missed them. That's Friday, must be. We're in St Anthony's or Racool.
All right, slow down.
Glasses are not strong enough, Podge.
Fogging off in here.
Oh, you're right. It is. You're right. You're dead right. You know that. St Anthony's ER. John Bosco's.
Podge, your phone's upside down.
Oh, yeah. Carrow Rovers or River Valley Rangers. Why does that sound familiar? Kilkenny?
Don't think so.
No,
there couldn't be. There's only.
Oh, yes, there's not league.
Highview and Evergreen or Kilkenny.
How unlucky are Felix to draw Josephs and Josephs to draw Felix in the outside competition? I presume that's the Carlow Josephs, is it?
Possibly.
It's hardly a Dublin Josephs, is it?
I don't think it's it could be the Carlow one, yeah.
Where Anthony's from, Pop?
Racool, down there, down towards Bray. Good spin, down Newtown, Mount Kennedy, I think is the exit.
You'll hardly drink cans on the way home the bus.
I've freaking big golf match Saturday morning, so I'm hoping to make
it.
You'll have to go straight from Kilkenny to Racool.
Do you think we should do an episode on your golf career?
If you want, yeah.
You think this was a long episode? Feel like it drives.
That's them, yeah. John Bosco's. Whoa, that's
some good games in it, yeah.
There is actually, isn't there?
Some good games.
Patrician. I haven't seen that name, Patrician Celtic, I'd say in 20 years. They were massive.
I actually seen the draw pass, sent the draw into the group. There were out the teams in the 35's Leinster Cup.
It's massive.
Brilliant, yeah.
It's great.
You're hoping for the away trip, but it's a bit too far. You want a half an hour trip in a bus, but
yeah.
Look, it's another day's work.
For sure. So also we have the draw this week. I'm going to get my phone up. Well, my phone is already up. I'm going to put the camera on my phone, Pop. I'm going to ask you to grab that hat down there beside you.
I will, of course.
I just have to find the camera on this thing now.
Is that your Man City hat?
That's St. Patrick's Boys hat.
St. Patrick's Boys hat.
Stop trying to get me back now because I called you a Rangers fan.
On my at home on my laptop with Man City hat on.
I tell you, you're a filthy man.
At the Kennedy Cup.
Was
Kennedy Cup?
Was more than just a hat on.
No, I had a pair of Man City shorts years ago.
Your head on.
Okay. Here we go.
This is before Man City were big, of course.
Right, you're picking this
Video is recording in this hat.
Well,
just one P. You didn't enter because you wouldn't pay for a ticket. Just one. Whenever you're ready, boys. So this is the winner of the set of jerseys, 25 training tops.
You can buy me a drink, whoever gets this. There's only one there, is there? There you go.
And the winner is Aidan Rowan.
Aidan Rowan, congratulations and fair play. Do you think he's a Wolf Hill man?
Wolf Hill man, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, Aidan. I'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
With the details.
Thanks for your support.
Everyone, again, I'm going to stop this now.
Aidan Rowan.
Brilliant.
All right. Thank you.
Brilliant. I don't know if I recorded that, lads. You know that?
Must have.
Hold on. I'm just checking to see if I recorded it. Oh, I did record it, yeah. I'll put that video up on Facebook and Instagram and likes as well going forward. So that's it for this week, lads. Congratulations, Aidan. We'll be in touch and we'll get in details for a full set of jerseys or 25 training t-shirts. It's up to yourself.
Try and get a photo done, Podge, with it. Yeah,
we'll get in. I was on to Emma yesterday. He says there should be quick enough turnaround for gear. So hopefully whoever he's with will have it for pre-season anyway. Again, that's it for this week, lads. Listen, thanks so much, Peter, for joining us. Really appreciate having you on board.
Thanks, Peter. And best of luck in the future with.
We might even get in touch at the end of the year and do wrap-up sessions, see where you are, see how close you are to the goals, see how close you are to the divisions and all that crack.
The more people here, the more people talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. For the support and feedback, it's fantastic, lads. Keep it coming. Keep the questions coming. We will have a guest on next week. We have it lined up. Not going to announce it yet. Look, I genuinely appreciate all the support and buy me a coffee. If you still want to go and support us in that, click the links on the socials.
More prizes down the line too.
There's another giveaway next month then as well. Yeah, we'll announce the prize. Hopefully next week we might be able to announce the prize on that. If you have any suggestions or queries or anything like that, contact us on the socials. Don't forget, lads, remember, it's not my podcast. It's not Papa's podcast.
Like a chicken laying eggs there.
It's Carlos Soccer's podcast. For me, lads, God bless you. All the best.
There's lads. Thank you.
Thanks very much. See you again.